Good morning. Today we are going to continue the chapter number 17, breathing and exchange of gases. Today we will study how the breathing mechanism occurs. Breathing involves two stages: inspiration, during which atmospheric air is drawn in, and expiration, in which alveolar air is released out. The movement of air into and out of the lungs is carried out by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. Inspiration can occur if the pressure within the lungs, that is intrapulmonary pressure, is less than the atmospheric pressure. That is, there is a negative pressure in the lungs with respect to atmospheric pressure. Similarly, expiration takes place when the intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. The diaphragm and a specialized set of muscles, external as well as internal, intercostal, that is the muscles between the ribs, दो ribs को join करने वाले slant muscles, intercostal muscles कहलाते हैं, that help in generation of such gradients. Inspiration is initiated by the contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of the thoracic chamber in the anteroposterior axis. The contraction of external intercostal muscles lift up the ribs and the sternum, causing an increase in the volume of thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. So दोनों चारों डायरेक्शन से thoracic chamber की कैविटी की जो स्पेस है उसे बढ़ाया जाता है ताकि लंग्स, जैसे ही thoracic chamber का कैविटी बढ़ेगा, एज अ रिजल्ट लंग्स भी रिलैक्स करेंगे. The overall increase in the thoracic volume cause a similar increase in pulmonary volume. An increase in pulmonary volume decreases the intrapulmonary pressure. Due to less intrapulmonary pressure, a negative pressure is generated inside the lungs and the atmospheric pressure is more, which forces the air from outside to move into the lungs. So due to this negative pressure in lungs, air comes in and it is known as inspiration. Relaxation of the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles return the diaphragm and the sternum to their normal positions and reduce the thoracic volume. Thereby, the pulmonary volume is also decreased. This leads to the increase in intrapulmonary pressure. Lungs के अंदर का pressure बढ़ जाएगा atmospheric pressure से comparison में, and causes the expulsion of the air from the lungs. This is known as expiration. We have the ability to increase the strength of inspiration and expiration with the help of additional muscles in the abdomen. On an average, a healthy human being breathes 12 to 16 times per minute. The volume of air involved in breathing movements can be estimated by using a spirometer, which helps in the clinical assessment of pulmonary functions. Here is the mechanism in which the arrow indicates the movement of air and how the diaphragm is contracted. It comes down. When it comes down, the cavity increases. When it goes up, cavity decreases. And according to the increase and decrease in the cavity, pressure is generated inside the lungs, which in compared to atmospheric pressure causes the air to come in and go out. Here is the animated video that explains the respiratory system, the process of breathing. We will see the different parts of the respiratory system majorly which are involved in the breathing mechanism during respiration. Here is the thoracic cavity made up by pleural membrane inside the rib cage. Here is the rib cage which supports this cavity. At the bottom side is the diaphragm. Here is the pleural membrane which covers the rib cage, and inside it is a lung. Both lungs are divided into lobes. Right lung is divided into three: right superior, right middle and right inferior, while left lung is divided into two parts, two lobes, superior lobe and inferior lobe. It also has the cavity in which the heart is placed, known as cardiac notch. Bronchi. The trachea divides into two bronchi. and the trachea has the incomplete C-shaped rings which prevents the trachea from collapsing. Then comes the pharynx, common path for oral cavity and nasal cavity. Then comes the larynx and nasal cavity from which the oxygen molecules enter to the trachea. From the trachea, they enters to the bronchi. From the bronchi, which moves into the lungs, the oxygen enters into the bronchioles and travels through the bronchioles and reaches to the alveoli chamber. Here is the alveoli, the site where the exchange of gases takes place. Alveoli is covered with the capillaries between which the exchange of gas occurs. The oxygen comes into the alveolar chamber from the pore and diffuses into the blood vessel through the membrane. When it comes into the blood vessel, it gets attached to the RBC, which were blue in color, and when these oxygen molecules get attached to the blue RBC, slowly and gradually RBCs gets converted into red, that shows the oxygenated stage of RBC. The same way, carbon dioxide diffuses into the alveolar chamber and goes from the pore towards the bronchioles. All the carbon dioxide flowing into the blood goes into the alveolar chamber and bronchiole, and from the bronchiole they goes out towards the bronchus. Both bronchus gives the carbon dioxide to the trachea. When it comes to the trachea, it moves upwards and get exhaled through the nasal chamber, nasal openings. This is known as inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, diaphragm gets lowered, that gets contracted, and the lung cavity increases. Lung cavity is intrapulmonary cavity, due to which the pressure decreases. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and reduces the lung cavity, due to which the air goes out. The air that comes in is oxygen rich, while the air that goes out is carbon dioxide rich. Next topic is respiratory volumes and capacities. Tidal volume, volume of air inspired or expired during a normal respiration. It is approx 500 ml. That is, a healthy man can inspire or expire approximately 6000 to 8000 milliliter of air per minute. Inspiratory reserve volume, additional volume of air a person can inspire by a forcible inspiration. The average 2500 milliliter to 3000 milliliter. Expiratory reserve volume, additional volume of air a person can expire by forcible expiration. This averages 1000 milliliter to 1100 milliliter. Next is the residual volume, volume of air remaining in the lungs even after a forcible expiration. This averages 1100 ml to 1200 ml. By adding up a few respiratory volumes described above, one can derive various pulmonary capacities which can be used in clinical diagnosis. Inspiratory capacity, total volume of air a person can inspire after normal expiration. This includes tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume, that is IC is equals to TV plus IRV. Next is expiratory capacity EC, total volume of air a person can expire after a normal inspiration. This includes tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume, that is EC is equals to TV plus ERV. Functional residual capacity, that is FRC, volume of air that will remain in the lungs after a normal expiration. This includes ERV plus RV. FRC is equals to ERV plus RV. Next is vital capacity VC, the maximum volume of air a person can breathe in after a forced expiration, includes ERV, TV and IRV, or the maximum volume of air a person can breathe out after a forced inspiration. Total lung capacity TLC, total volume of air accommodated in the lungs at the end of the forced inspiration. This includes RV, ERV, and TV, or IRV or vital capacity, plus residual volume.